Hey there Internet, Chrono32123 here with a new video. Is the Duke from the original Xbox, the very large and almost comical controller, coming back to the Xbox One? Well, it looks like that's a real possibility. Seamus Blackley, former lead engineer, one of the lead guys on the original Xbox team, tweeted back in October about possible interest, gauging if anyone would be interested if an official or partnered Xbox One controller were to come out. Would that be a thing you want to buy? And apparently that got enough interest, because here we are 2 months later and Seamus has tweeted a picture of an Xbox One controller saying that, he's working to see if they can release a new Duke. I think that's super cool. The Duke is a definitely unique controller. It's a very Microsoft, very Xbox controller. I don't think we could have seen Nintendo or Sony put out a controller this large and please their fan base. And that's just shown by, this controller was only available in America and Europe after the original Xbox was launched. The Japanese, and I guess all of the Asian markets, got a controller S, which eventually made its way stateside and to Europe and became the default controller a few years after the original Xbox came out. And that's simply because the controller S was more comfortable. It was smaller, it was sleeker, it felt like a better controller overall. But that's not to say the Duke is a bad controller. Yes, it's large. Yes, it can be uncomfortable for certain people. I, for one, can use it, but it does get uncomfortable over time for me. Very similar to the way the Wii U gamepad gets kind of hard to use. Maybe not hard to use, it's just uncomfortable to use after long periods of time. So I was really thinking about what this controller would look like and what it would function like in today's gaming landscape. The design we have currently for Xbox One and PS4 and even Nintendo's controllers are very, very common. You have 2 triggers, 2 shoulder buttons, 4 face buttons, a start and select, dual analog sticks, and some kind of D-pad. And even the Duke controller has most of those, except replace the shoulder buttons with a white and black button that gives you a more classic kind of layout, a Sega Genesis style, if you will, or arcade button layout. It does work well for fighting games, I believe, because I'm just not a fan of playing any kind of 2D fighting game and having to use the shoulder buttons for moves. I think that they work better when all of the buttons are on the face. Maybe that's just me. I don't know if anybody else agrees with that, but arcade sticks do seem to be popular still for consoles when they do come out. So a modern version of the Duke, would it combine the old with the new, in that would it add an LB and an RB and keep the white and black, and maybe map them to the same buttons so that those that want to use it as a modern controller but with that nostalgic look and feel can enjoy it that way without giving up the way they play currently? Or would it just be white and black on the face and not add the left and right bumpers? I could see both approaches happening. I could see an approach that gets rid of the white and black buttons and goes LB and RB only, and that would be totally okay, because the overall look of the controller is retained, the overall feel of the controller is retained. Naturally, I would expect the Duke, or the modern Duke, to be thinner, because there's no cartridge slots in the controller. I would expect it to have, I guess it's Microsoft tradition to have a spot for batteries and an optional battery pack. I would expect it to have a micro USB slot. I would pretty much expect it, if it's a first-party accessory, to function like the new Xbox One S controllers with integrated Bluetooth and just kind of that look and feel. I would expect the giant Xbox jewel in the middle to be the guide button. I don't see that not happening with a revamped Duke. There are a few concept images that I have found. The one I liked the best, and this was actually retweeted by Seamus Blackley, comes from @ShiftySamurai on Twitter. He's got a couple of concepts that he has shown. I don't know if this guy is just a fan or if he's someone more official, but he's got a couple of rough concepts, CG concepts for a modern Duke that I thought looked really cool. They did not have the LB or RB function on them from what I could tell, but they did look, they had the width of the Duke with a better D-pad and the six face button layout, which I think it's a good approximation of what we could expect from a modern day Duke. So I wouldn't expect this thing to be readily available like regular Xbox One controllers. I would expect this to be a limited production, probably pre-order only, available on eBay through scalpers for 4 times the value. And that's just the current trend of nostalgic or limited edition things. They get bought up and resold by scalpers. It's kind of frustrating, especially with Nintendo products. I'm looking at you, NES Mini. But yeah, I would probably pick one of these up if I could get my hands on one. I think it would be a fun thing to have in my collection. Definitely be a unique talking piece. If the functionality was great, I'd probably use it more than every day for my Xbox One usage. Maybe even PC games, especially like the side-scrolly or more action-oriented games. Well, that's all for this video, guys. Let me know in the comments what you think about the original Duke and the possibility of a new Duke coming for the Xbox One. Thanks for watching. We'll talk again later.